Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about the PPE you should wear in the lab as a laboratory tech, clinical lab assistant, phlebotomist. If you're in the lab period, I'm going to tell you what you should wear, all the things you should wear, why you should wear them, things like that. So if you're interested in knowing what to wear in the lab, what PPE you need to wear and why you should wear it, then stay tuned.
F savage bitch, and your trapper take over. Name another bitch that's colder. I just bought a brand new Rover. I don't even drive no more, I got a chauffeur. Took off, man, they asking me to slow up. Getting wiser and my money getting older. I'm that bitch, I ain't even gon' hold it. I'm that bitch, and I thought that they told it.
Okay guys, so hey, my name is Anaya. I work in the lab. I am now a clinical laboratory assistant. I was a phlebotomist, but now I moved up just a little bit. So I am a lab processor. So with that being said, there's a lot of rules that comes into coming in the lab and being around certain things in the lab and doing certain things in the lab. So I'm gonna just let you guys know off the get-go. The lab is considered a dirty area. Yes. I don't care how clean you think your lab is, or you don't scrub this, you don't scrub that with this, or you use this much bleach and da da da. I don't care. Every laboratory is dirty. Every lab is dirty, and it's the most dirtiest place in a hospital. And I'm gonna tell you guys why. I'm gonna tell you guys why. Not because people don't clean or do what they're supposed to do. It's because everything is sent to the lab. Arms, fetuses from people who have miscarriages, fingers, toes, limbs, pee, poop, sputum, which is like spit, that little, oh, I hate that word, vaginal, like swabs and other cultures. Everything is sent to the lab to get tested. So with that being said, everything is passed on to the lab. Like the nurses will get the specimens or get the cultures, the blood, or for the phlebotomist or whoever will get what they need to get and bring it to the lab to be tested. So that comes from different types of patients in different situations. What I mean by that is some patients have MRSA, some patients have C. diff, some patients have COVID and other things like that. So when you're passing on specimens to the lab, you should always have gloves. When you're getting the specimen yourself, you should have gloves. Most people feel that, okay, I got this blood, this tube of blood, I'm gonna take my gloves off and I'm gonna write my name on it and my code, da 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 da, and then I'm gonna hand it off. First of all, when you're touching that tube, period, you're supposed to have gloves on, because that's just a whole, like, there's blood on the top sometimes. Whether you see it or not, there's germs. So all the tubes of blood, all the pee and everything should be handled with gloves on and biohazard bags. So with that being said, I'm going to take you guys back to a clip that I had in another video where I was showing you guys some stuff and I had them in a biohazard bag. So the biohazard bags are clean, but once it's brought into the lab, it's dirty. Because when we're looking through stuff and we're processing stuff and we're receiving stuff, moving stuff from tube to tube, ordering stuff, we always have our gloves on. So our markers supposed to stay in the lab. Pens are supposed to stay in the lab. Highlighters are supposed to stay in the lab, because we're dealing with all that stuff and we're using our utensils with our gloves on, which means it has pee, poop, probably MRSA, C. diff, anything. Because if a patient, say a patient has C. diff and we get their tubes and stuff, right? Yeah, we get it in the bag, but we have to keep our gloves on because we don't know the situation. Like, okay, so I sucked this patient before, right? I got his blood. He had C. diff, right? So I got his blood. He was out of it. So he had poop in his nails, poop on his fingers, poop on the bed rails, everywhere. So me getting that blood, I know, always keep my gloves on. And sometimes I'll even write a note, patient has such and such, because we all work in the medical field. We're allowed to do that. What we can't do is go into a patient's chart that we're not supposed to be in and look up their, you know, stuff and things like that. But we can't say, okay, this person has this person has this, when we're passing on information. But we can't diligently we can't just go into a patient chart because we know them or we want to see what their stuff is like or anything like that. But I can't be like, okay, this person has this, so you need to be careful, you need to keep your gloves on, da 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 da. So with that being said, when we're opening up stuff, we don't know, because not everybody is thoughtful like that. We don't know, okay, this patient has MRSA, this patient has this patient has that. Sometimes when we're ordering stuff, we don't see everything. Like, we don't see what the patient have, we don't see what they tested positive for, we don't see what they tested negative for, because when we're doing a certain thing like ordering, we're just supposed to order. If we go into a patient's chart, you can get fired because we're not supposed to go into their chart. When we're receiving stuff, we're only receiving. We can't go into a patient chart to see if they passed or didn't pass a HIV test or something. So with that being said, you want to treat every specimen as if they have something very serious. I think everything's serious. MRSA, C. diff, COVID, HIV, even the STD swabs. Okay, so with that being said, sometimes when we're doing specimens, we have a bio bag. We have a bio trash can right by us. So we're taking the specimen out, moving the pee from one cup to the tubes, and specimens, we're putting specimens in tubes, like pouring it out and everything like that. And we'll throw the bio bag away. Now, if we're out of bio bags, we'll get the bio bag back out of the bio thing, out the bio trash can, and we'll reuse it. But everything that's been used in the lab, we'll use the same bags as we did we'll use the same bags that's in the bio trash can. So I know you guys like, what? Y'all taking the bio bags and reusing them? Yes, because either way, everybody's that's in the lab is supposed to wear their gloves on. Everybody's supposed to have their gloves on. So we'll reuse those bags. But if the bag or the test or the sample is supposed to be sent to another hospital to be tested, like further testing, like deeper testing, we'll use a new bio bag. But you have to think about it. If we're using a new bio bag, we're still touching the new bio bag with our dirty gloves. Because we can't just take our gloves off, get the new bio bag, and then put the specimen in, because then we don't have our gloves on. So even when we're touching the new bio bag, we still have our gloves on, so it's still dirty. And mind you, we're messing with pee, we're messing with poop, we're messing with spit, we're messing with bodily fluids, we're messing with everything. So that's why we just go ahead and reuse the bags to save some of the bags, because y'all, we use so many bags, but we have to. But if we can prevent using so much bags, then we will. So we just use the same bags. Like, if it's reasonable, we're not going to reuse a bio bag and there's blood spilled in it, pee spilled in it, poop spilled in it. If there's nothing spilled in it, then we'll reuse it. But if there's fluids and stuff spilled in it, we're not going to use that for a different person and send it off or give it to a lab tech or whatever. That's not what we do. So with that being said, there is spills. There's pee spills, poop spills. Because people act like, nurses act like they can't screw the top. Poop, pee, even blood, even plasma. Y'all, it's like, dang, do y'all, what are you doing to the stuff? Like, come on now. But so with that being said, you're always supposed to have gloves on when you're entering a lab. I don't care if you're dropping off a specimen. Everything is dirty. When you touch that doorknob to walk out the lab, it's dirty. When you're typing your name on somebody's computer or you're using a phone in the lab with your bare hands, it's dirty, because we always have gloves on. Yes, we clean our area before we start and after we start with bleach, but that does not mean nothing. There's still stuff that's still there in between the keys, because we use our keyboards, and when we use our keyboards, we keep our gloves on. So the whole station, the computer, the keyboard, the printer, the desk, everything is dirty. Trust me, everything is dirty. So you want to always have your gloves on, because there's spills, everything's dirty. You just wear your gloves, okay? So you always want to have your mask on. And I know before the pandemic they didn't have to wear the face mask, but if you think about it, stuff splattering, spilling out the bags, spilling out cups, spilling out tubes, you want to always have that mask on. Like, even when they be like, oh, we don't have to wear masks no more, I'm gonna still wear mine, because it's just like, I don't want this stuff splattering on my lip. I don't care if I have on a face shield or not, I want to have my mask on. So that's what we have the mask for. But then you also have, like I said, the face shields. The face shield is supposed to prevent fluids from splashing onto your face or in your eye, in your mouth, in your nose. It doesn't really protect your hair, but I'm gonna get to that in a moment. But the face shield is supposed to protect your face so nothing splashes, because there's a lot of spills, there's a lot of splashes, everything, especially when you're moving fast, you're in the zone and you get a cup that's wet. Like, you get a cup that's not screwed up all the way, half of the peas out of the cup because it's in the bag, because it's spilled. You want to have all that stuff on. Some people don't wear the face shield, some people wear the goggles, and I have the goggles right here. There's different kinds of goggles. I mean, you can get goggles that you like. This is what I used to wear at the other hospital when I was doing phlebotomy. And then here's the new ones that my new job gave me. I actually got 2 pairs. I'm gonna insert a video of one of the pairs. One of the pairs is for glasses. These are if you wear big glasses or glasses in general, just so it can fit over your glasses in your eyes and it's not smushed. Because even though you wear glasses in the lab, you still want to wear goggles, because if something splatters on your glasses, you're taking it home with you. You don't clean it like how you're supposed to. And even if you clean it, you're cleaning it with your gloves on. Even if you take your gloves off, y'all, it's just a whole bunch of stuff. So here's one of the other goggles. These are just the regular goggles, but I like the bigger ones because I feel like it's more secure. There's also I'm gonna show you, I think I have a video of me wearing a mask. It's like a mask connected with a shield. So it's like a mask right here, but then it's a shield right here. So that's connected. So that's another thing that you can use. But I personally like the mask shield, the big goggles, and I like the face shields. Those, at my other job, the face shields were dull, blurry, couldn't see. This job is very clear. I forget that I have it on sometimes. That and the goggles. So this prevents splashes and stuff getting into your face, getting into your hair. Now, if you're worried about your hair and getting stuff in your hair, you can always wear a hairnet, or you can get one of them hair things off Amazon that the nurses wear. But my thing is, you're gonna have to constantly wash that, because when you're wearing it in the lab, something splatters, it gets on your hat or whatever, you're taking that with you when you walk out, when you get in the car, So to prevent germs spreading, even though germs are gonna spread anyway, because what we can't see, there's germs all around us. But to keep it to a minimum, you can get your hairnet when you leave the lab. Before you leave the lab, well, when you leave the lab, you can get the hairnet and put it in a bag. So when you go home, you can wash it. Now, when you're dealing with the hairnet, you should always keep your gloves on, because you don't know what splashed on it and stuff like that. So you also supposed to wear a lab coat at all times. You're supposed to have everything all times in the lab. Lab coat, goggles, gloves. Lab coat, goggles, gloves. The lab coat, I really would suggest wearing that all the time, because you don't want, like I said, we had spills of poop, pee, spit, cultures, stuff that wasn't tightened like they were supposed to. You don't want that spilling on your clothes. Trust me, that it hasn't. I'm not gonna wood, but you don't want that to happen to you, because I will go home. I'll probably be like, you know what, I'll see y'all in about another week. But yes, you want to always keep your lab coat on, because everything, you don't know what can happen. You can be running into somebody that has some pee, run into somebody that has some poop or whatever, run over somebody that's doing run on some blood and the cap is open and stuff like that. You don't want to deal with the consequences of not wearing your freaking lab coat. Trust me. Another thing that you want to wear is get you some shoes, some good shoes, because when you're in the lab, you're standing. When you're in the lab, you're on your feet, you're sitting down. Even though you're sitting down, you're going to be on your feet. Also, you want to get a certain material of shoe that wraps all the way around, front, back, and sides. And you want to get like a pleather, like a material where water or something would slide or glide off. You don't want to get regular shoe material like fabric and stuff like that, because if you waste pee, blood, spit, poop, or whatever on the floor and your foot gets in it, and your shoe is like a regular fabric texture, it's not gonna come out. It's gonna be hard. You can try if you want to, but it's gonna be hard. You're gonna be bringing them germs right to the house. So to keep that all to a minimum, and preventing the spread of germs and stuff like that, just wear, like, I'm gonna show you guys an example of the type of shoes that I got. So if I waste something on my shoes, it will glide off, and then I can just wipe my boots or whatever with a bleach wipe, and then hey, I'm good. But still wear what we call booties. These are like hairnets for your feet. These keep the germs out, honey. So most people in the medical field that goes into a hospital or whatever, or works in the lab, wears these booties. Like I said, you don't know if you're going to spill something on your feet. You don't know what has already been spilt on the floor and half-ass cleaned and stuff like that. So people wear booties. Now, with that being said, like I said, hair nets for your feet. There's also hair nets. You don't have to buy those nurse hats, but there's also those hair nets if you feel more comfortable with wearing a hair net, keeping your hair tucked. With me being on the topic of hair, you want to also have your hair pulled back, honey, because you don't want to be dealing with something and it's just your hair is all in the poop and all in the pee. Like I said, we move pee from cup to tube. We move blood from tube to tube. We deal with a lot of stuff, so you don't want to be like, oh, let me get this, and your hair is just all in the mix. It's just, ooh, that's just a no-go. So you want to make sure you have all these things. I'm trying to think of what else. Mask, goggles, gloves, lab coat, shoes. That's about it for the PPE in the lab. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope it's helpful on what we use and why we use it, because people be like, y'all got a lot of rules. I mean, unless you want to take some piss and some shit home, literally some shit home, then don't abide by the rules. But lab coat, gloves, face shield or goggles, booties, the right shoes, hair nets if you want to. Some things are optional. The booties are optional, the hair nets are optional, the goggles, you can use goggles or face shield. We have to wear a mask right now. You have to have the right type of shoes, and you have to wear your lab coat. So there's a lot of things with the lab. It's just everything is dirty in here, and it's not like to be dirty on purpose. It's just, it happens. Everybody's dealing with specimens. Everybody's typing on computers. Like, even if you're typing on the computer, you have to have gloves on. Everybody have, everything you touch, even the chairs are dirty, because we're moving the chairs around. So when we go put up a specimen, we come back, we're touching our seats and stuff with the gloves. If you're a germaphobe, this ain't the job for you, and I'm gonna make you a video on why, exactly why, like more into depth. But there's germs everywhere, you guys. So you want, when you're in the lab, when you're working in the lab in the medical field period, you want to make sure you abide by their PPE rules. Okay, just saying. Just, you don't have to take advice from me. You can roll how you want to roll, but baby, if you don't want to take some stuff home, or you want to prevent a lot of stuff, wear what you're supposed to wear. Okay, this prevents you taking stuff home. This prevents stuff getting to your mouth and your eyes, like the chlamydia stuff, the HIV stuff, cultures and stuff like that, because you don't know. These are tests that people are testing for. They're looking for something. They're testing for something specifically, or they know they already have something. They're just trying to check up on it. Like, you don't know exactly what these people have, so you want to treat it as, hey, this person got everything. Okay, so I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll be posting once a week, if not more than once a week. We're coming back to back with these videos, guys. So I hope you guys are enjoying the content, just like I'm enjoying editing, recording, and uploading for you. So y'all stay safe, stay cautious, be aware of your surroundings, keep your hands washed, keep your mask on, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Wear your PPE.